Hello, everybody. Yeah, thank you for being here. As you can see, Mike Ellis is here to chat with us. And hold on, what do you want? Oh, Shorty wants to say hi. Okay, there you go. Anyway, yeah, we had over on last night. They talked about traffic. It was pretty interesting. I think, as I said last night, a lot of people think about traffic 1978 style or 80, 90, even 2000 and something. I believe that there's going to be a hybrid way that I'm seeing of ONPASSIVE of how they're going to generate traffic. And by the way, traffic is coming in every day. And if you're in Dubai, it's targeted. Okay, so get that in your head. I mean, we're in Dubai. Dubai is AI and high tech. So train station, somebody either working for a high tech company, related to somebody in a high tech company, is something. When they go to Burj Khalifa and you see it going up there, and people are taking pictures. Maybe the people taking pictures aren't high tech, but they're going home. The mom or dad who works in a corporate office who tells their boss, "Hey, I was in Dubai. Oh, wow, isn't that amazing? Yeah, this company's going up to Burj Khalifa. ONPASSIVE. Who's that? I don't know. They go find out. Trust me. I know how that works. I've seen it happen. But I believe that the traffic is a mixture of branding, AI, and word of mouth. I'll tell you what's going to happen. This is the craziest thing. I looked it up the other day. I brought it up on Ron last night. Did you know that 250 million iPhones are sold every year? And most of them, the people don't need it. The phone's fine. Got to have that new technology. Now, what did they do? In the very beginning, when the iPhone came out, they branded like crazy, like months ahead of time. They branded, and you're like, holy cow, I got to see this. I got to see it. So all of a sudden, the doors open, if you remember, people falling over each other to get this iPhone. They didn't ask how much it was. They're giving children away to get this thing. They're remortgaging their home. No joke. This is what happens when you market and you brand at that high level. Now, I don't think they have anything on ONPASSIVE. You've seen who he's hiring. You know who's already here. So what do? They've been branding, building a foundation. I remember me and Mike talk all the time about, my God, why are they building such a foundation for what? What are they getting ready to land? You know what I mean? You see all that, you don't see the spaceship, and you're like, acres and acres and miles of foundation, 6-inch, 24-inch concrete deep, and buildings and going to different locations. I'm starting to get it. Even this old brain. It's branding at its best. And when you do that, you do it. And listen to this. The cool thing about it. So you open up, OConnect gets a new version. Remember, this is SaaS, SaaS. So you log in, you're in. Every update is automatic. You don't have to download anything like on your phone. Every once in a while they say there's a new download. Not necessary. When you log in, if there's a new update, it's there. If it's there tonight, you'll get it tomorrow. Whenever you log in, it's beautiful. But think about this for a minute. We know the other companies out there, Cisco, Meeting, whatever. There's 5 big guys, 5 big conferencing platforms. Now, picture this: you have a conferencing platform like OConnect, features that no one has, technology that they don't have. You can sell it for ungodly less than anybody else, and on top of that, you pay a commission. Okay, so all this branding goes on. People come in, they give you whatever it is, 7-day, 14-day free trial. So you come in, people check it out, and they go, okay, I want 500 room capacity. What's it cost? And they go look and compare. First thing they do is compare to where they've been and who else on the market. We're off the chart. In every category, we're off the chart. Then they use it and they put on that post button, and they look down at the panel, and now they're in the cockpit of Star Wars, okay? Every button down there does something, and you don't have to leave. You have an idea, post it, everyone sees it. You have a file that you want to do, post it, boom, they can download it now. Everything is now. Now, picture this, you do this, big push in the beginning, huge push in the beginning. The day will come that we'll be bringing people in with zero pay for advertising, my opinion. Why is that? Because just like the iPhone, grandma, grandpa, your dumb uncle, your moron cousin, whatever, is going to share what they have. People will share as long as you don't tell them to share. They will do it automatically. People do it every day. Hey, I love Islam, or I got it from so-and-so. It's a blank, 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 blank. This happens every day. When you get that part of viral where people just can't shut up about it, which is going to happen, then you have the branding behind it. And then you have the actual marketing where a guy is walking to the mall, one of the malls. He looks over and there's a video playing, a video ad. Inside that video is the camera looking out. Whether they see it, they don't see it, could be a little dot. That video camera looks at the person, says 6'2". He has a suitcase in his hand. He's a businessman. Whoop, and come to the screen something that's going to attract him or her or granddad who's got 2 little kids with him. This is no joke. This is the kind of thing that we're involved in. When you look and see the PhDs and the Einsteins that Ash is bringing on board, like he did the story about as a young kid at 12, 13 years old, wins that scholarship, and the very people that were there training, the godfathers of AI and IT and all that, are now working with us. How bizarre is that? No wonder why he was excited. That is so mind-blowing that that happened. But I want you to think, now, picture this. The brand works. People are clamoring over to get OConnect. A month from now, a new product comes out. We don't have to sell it. Why? It's got the ONPASSIVE name on it. They know what kind of quality came before, and anybody that's using that knows that name. And on top of that, all of the stamps of approval that we've gotten in the last couple of weeks, right? Cisco, boom, there's a little emblem saying that they look at us as superior in this business, in this line of business. It's over. It's over. I mean, and listen, we're not reinventing the wheel in most cases. We're just taking the wheel and making it roll better. That's it, and cheaper. What happens when we move on to something else? Look, just in my imagination, anything. $1,000, $1,100 phone, and you can blank, blank, blank price and pay people commission. And I mean, I just think the sky's the limit. And once you get your head wrapped around that, you will stop focusing on a little weed growing in the acre and acre of lawn. Just let it go. Another thing, some of us are the worst farmers in the planet. Some of us plant a seed, tell somebody about ONPASSIVE or 4 or 5 people, and just sit there waiting for those 5 to get in. Call them every week. What are you doing? You got to listen to me. Nobody does that. A farmer plants the seeds and he moves on. He waters it, the sun comes in, and whatever amount of time, waist high, by July, whatever, with corn, that's it. They look back and it worked. ONPASSIVE is the same. You planted the seeds. And by the way, everybody that told you no, half of them are just afraid they're going to get burnt. Why? Because you probably introduced 50 different things to them, and they did get burnt. I know, I did it. Family's the worst people you could talk to. But when this works and things go viral and everyone knows, becomes a name like Apple, you're not going to have to do any of that. I don't know about you. Does McDonald's need to advertise and tell you there's a McDonald's? No, they're every country in the world. Is it good food? No, it's horrible. But they go there by the millions because it's something everyone knows. The brand is there. ONPASSIVE is a branding maniac. They are absolutely insane on branding. And I know, and you know what's weird about the kind of marketing that they're doing? My opinion, I don't work for the company, but I'm going to tell you, to fork out tens of millions of dollars, knowing that the return may not be for a year, the return they're looking for. That's thinking ahead. That is what is going to make the difference, because a lot of industry, when I was working, you pay out $1, you better get $1.25 tomorrow. I mean, everything is net. I'll give you this, you're giving me this. You take a company that gives you products that are above market, and there's no small print. Okay, you got this. I'll give you an example. I've got an app that makes videos. It does good. I love it. But they had AI language come out. Well, that's cool. I don't have to pay for it. No. They only give you so many languages, and then they cut it off and want you to pay extra money for more. I could get around it. I did. But how many people don't? And they keep paying and paying. That's the part that people get tired of. They don't mind paying. Example, brand new, $1,100, and they don't need it. The one they have is fine. They get some little thing. They don't even use 90% of the gadgets that a phone has. It's just crazy how people do. And this is going to happen on passive, my opinion, more than we could imagine. If you could imagine, oh, it's going to blow. Listen, if Mufareh set up a company, and I said this many times, and he was going to market like he did, he was the super affiliate, he would build what you call a miniature ONPASSIVE, and he would scale it. What did he do? He built us an ONPASSIVE. You're an expert, day one. I want traffic, you can buy it. The traffic is going to come in organically, it's going to grow every day. Every single day. You know the difference? And he said, I said it a couple of weeks ago. First, you're going out and you're looking for the best of the best. You're looking for the cream in the crop. Now the cream's coming to them. And they can even say, in their mind, coming out of their mouths, what can you offer us? And that's powerful stuff. And we haven't even gone yet. We really never left the starting gate. We had a couple boop, got a flat tire because the tire was brought to us, was outsourced because we don't make tires yet. But all this is coming. When we're 100%, watch out. And then people coming up a couple weeks now, I'm not going to pay. I don't want to pay. Listen, I'm not talking to those people. You don't want to pay, don't. But here's what I don't understand. You're given a 1,000 horsepower car. It will go 350 miles an hour and you won't wreck. You don't need a brake. You were given the keys. It's full of gas. All you have to do is turn the key, and you said, I'm not going to do it. Okay, get out of the way. But don't complain when you finally decide to do it that a couple laps went by already. I want to be where they were. You could have been. Start your engine then. Anyway, I'm not putting anybody down. I'm just saying, think about what we have. And what did we pay? What did we pay? We didn't pay squat. 97, they gave it back. Not only did they give me the 97 back, they gave me $10 because I could put my name and email into a small box. Feel like a chimpanzee. Anybody could do it. They paid me to sign up. They paid me to migrate into OES, all of us. And then, yep, you're right. The company, they lied. It's going to cost $200 to $300. No, it didn't. It cost $143. And every time they do an extension, which people can't wrap their head around, the company loses money. Every time they do an extension, they lose money. When these little hiccups happen because people didn't hold their end of the bargain, outsource people, they could have froze it because they said, why would we give everybody OConnect? It's costing us millions of dollars. We'll freeze it until we get this fixed. That's not what happened. When there's a problem on the outside, they get kicked, legs kicked out from under them, they get back up. The first thing they do is put a blanket over the founders and say, hold on, hold on. We're going to give you a 30-day extension. We're going to give you a 10-day extension so we can do what we do. Nobody would do that. And I know I'm hammering over the same stuff over and over again, but there's different people, and some days you hear it, and some days you listen, but some days you actually hear it. I'm going to hurt myself if I don't slow down. So I'm going to turn it over to Mike. This is why I don't do 5-minute videos. I'm going to turn it over to Mike, and we can chat with you for a while. Sorry about that, Mike. I lost you a little bit.
No, Marty, that was absolutely perfect. And if people didn't understand why they're in ONPASSIVE and how unique it is, they know now just by listening to you, Marty. If you're not in ONPASSIVE right now, because of everything Marty just went over, you're just insane. This is the place to be if you want to build a business and find that financial independence, in my opinion. But today, I really want to talk about Ash Mufareh. And it really is a gut check for all of us, okay? And it's going to give you an appreciation for what Marty just said and where you're at, all right? Because this truly is unique. It just does not happen. Ash Mufareh is an entrepreneur, okay? A lot of us out there, you and I, we're small entrepreneurs. We've tried things. Things have been successful. Things have failed. But Mr. Mufareh is an entrepreneur that's taken it another step. And in order to do that, initially you have to have an idea that turns into a vision, okay? Do you think Mr. Mufareh got that idea and turned it into his vision in a couple of months? No. It took him decades to come to the vision of ONPASSIVE and where he wanted it to be. As affiliates in ONPASSIVE, did you have anything to do with that? You, me, Marty, any of us? I can tell you flat out, no, you had nothing to do with that. But it's even more than that. Once you have the vision of ONPASSIVE, and it was massive, now you have to organize ONPASSIVE, okay? Not only do you have to organize it, but you have to have the knowledge in order to be able to do that. Do you think he came to that knowledge in a couple of weeks? No, he did not. It took him decades to get to the place, not only to have the vision, but to have the ability to organize it and make it come into fruition. Did the affiliates have anything to do with that? Nothing, nada, zero. This is all Mr. Mufareh. This is all Ash. This is what he's done over the last 20 years. And the last one really is the kicker. It is the gut check. It's the risk involved in being an entrepreneur and doing what you want to do with that vision and organizing it. Did the affiliate people in ONPASSIVE take any of that risk with Mr. Mufareh? No, you did not. I did not. Marty did not. And I'm not talking about a couple of $100,000 here, guys. I'm talking about millions of dollars. And when you think about the money that Mr. Mufareh has put into ONPASSIVE over the last 5 years, it is staggering. And the amount of risk that he took, I can tell you, is massive. And there were times when I think Mr. Mufareh thought, is this really going to happen? Because there were a lot of obstacles thrown at him. And if you're an entrepreneur, you know about this. When you start a business, it's not easy to do. And of course, what Mr. Mufareh has done over the last few years is extraordinary. And the risk he took, you can't even imagine. And as Marty said, you and I, we put $97 in. That's it. We took none of the risk with Mr. Mufareh. Now, the point I'm making is that Mr. Mufareh, because of what he's done with ONPASSIVE, it is his prerogative what he does with ONPASSIVE, and that includes you and I, the affiliates of it in ONPASSIVE. He doesn't have to do anything with us. But when you start to think about ONPASSIVE, and a good analogy is if you have a guy coming in a hotel and he parks cars, and he parks cars really well, makes about 15 bucks an hour plus tips. And all of a sudden, one day he wakes up and he goes, you know, I'm pretty good at what I do. I think I should get a part of that, the revenue that this hotel brings in. Now, the people that took all the risk, the entrepreneurs that built that hotel, they're going to look at him and go, what? You think you should get some of the revenue of this hotel? I think it's time for you to find another job. Now, that is not Ash Mufareh, thank God. And when we think about Mr. Mufareh and what he's done, now you start to understand the unique position that we're all in. Mr. Mufareh, as he started building ONPASSIVE, he did not have to bring us along, but that was one of the main things he wanted to do. He wanted to bring us along. That alone is extraordinary, but it's even better than that. And it is the wisdom that Mr. Mufareh has used over the course of the last 5 years. He not only wanted to bring us along, but he wanted to give us a big chunk of the pie that's coming into ONPASSIVE. And as we listen to Marty, you know that chunk of the pie, it's going to be massive. It's going to be bigger than any of us can even imagine. So when you think about the wisdom of Mr. Mufareh, what he's done, what he's doing for us, he wants to share stuff with us. Are you in the right place at the right time? Are you in that place that changes lives? And the answer to that is absolutely yes. And it's because of what Mr. Mufareh has done over the last 5 years with the idea, with the organization, with the risk that he's taken and bringing us along. And as we think about the wisdom of what Mr. Mufareh has done, number one, you think about India. Do you think that was an accident that Mr. Mufareh went to India? And again, this is the wisdom that Mr. Mufareh has used over the last 5 years. Do you think it was just an accident? He just went over there and hoped things would work out? Excuse me, guys. The answer to that is no. And I'll give you a reason why. When he looked at India and he looked what was happening within India, do you know that today India produces more things than China does right now? They have overtaken China and surpassed them. Do you think Mr. Mufareh had an inkling what was going on in India and that's why he did it? I think so. I think that's the wisdom that he used. And then you go over to the UAE, the Burj Khalifa that Marty talked about a little earlier. Do you think that was an accident? I don't think so. The UAE is the hub in that part of the world, the financial hub in that part of the world. Mr. Mufareh, as he went into the UAE, he knew that. He knew that's where we wanted to be. And if we got there, if we got into India, if we got into the UAE, what would be happening around ONPASSIVE and all the things that would happen within ONPASSIVE. It really is, it's just so unique. And I believe it's the genius of Mr. Mufareh, but it's the wisdom he's used not only to build ONPASSIVE, but to help you and I. I'll give you one last fact that I heard this the other day, and it really blew my mind. And it goes to what Marty was talking about. We know that ONPASSIVE has already started to build their data centers out. And I think they're about there. I think their data centers probably, it could be done by now. I don't know. Ash hasn't told us yet, but he will. The other day, I was listening to a multi-billionaire, and if I use the name, you would know who it is. I won't do that. But he talked about what he was doing and where he was going to put the data centers that he was going to be building. So he's going to be doing data centers. Why? This gentleman, it's all about money. And he doesn't do anything unless he can make a ton of money. And because there's such a demand for data centers, he's spending $2 to $3 billion to build these data centers. He hasn't started yet. He's put the money together. He's going to start it. He's picking the locations right now. That's when he's going to start doing it. Well, we know, Marty just mentioned it, we have one of the top AI people, probably the top AI person in the world. ONPASSIVE has already started to build their data centers. They're probably going to be 5 to 10 years ahead of this gentleman as he starts to build his data centers. How much money has ONPASSIVE spent to build the data centers? Again, this has to do with risk, being an entrepreneur, going into risk. And Ash Mufareh, when he wants to do something, he just does it. The money isn't an issue. How much money has he spent on our data centers? We know that ONPASSIVE does it better and cheaper than anybody else out there. Has he spent $2 to $3 billion on those data centers? I don't know. But he spent a bunch of money on the data centers. Again, ONPASSIVE will be 5 to 10 years ahead of this individual. And this guy, he's very successful. He's very rich. He can do what he says he can do, but he doesn't have the people we have. And he has to do it the old-fashioned way. He has to use the structure of the old business with stockholders and making money, blah, blah, blah. He can't do what ONPASSIVE does, i.e. he will never catch up with what ONPASSIVE is doing. He will never be as good as ONPASSIVE is doing. What does that do for you and I? Marty talked about it earlier. The amount of volume, that's one product, guys. The amount of volume that's going to be coming in with one product, Mr. Mufareh wants to share that revenue with you and I. We are in such a unique position. And today, if you don't trust Ash Mufareh yet, then just sit back, relax, and don't do anything for a little while. Because everything that Mr. Mufareh has told Marty and I and Dan and all the other founders that are out there, he's done it, and he's done it in spades. It's always more and more and more. He always outdoes what he says he's going to do. And because of that, we're just in a great position. It really is the place where we have a gut check, where the rubber meets the road. And today, it is happening. We don't have to wait years anymore. We don't have to wait a great deal of time. But Mr. Mufareh is doing what is necessary to benefit us, not only the world, but to benefit us. And as we look at this great picture evolving and unfolding in front of us, guys, just enjoy it. If you understood what Marty had to say, if you understand that Ash Mufareh owes us nothing, he is an entrepreneur. It was his idea. It was his organization. He took the risk. We didn't have to do any of that stuff. And yet he's putting a platform in front of us that will change our lives for good. This is the right place to be. Again, if you're not quite there, that's okay. Go sit on the sideline, as Marty said. You will be in, and you will be in sooner than later, because by the time you come in, as Marty said, we will have already taken a couple of laps. And they're going to be fun laps. And they're going to be beneficial to each and every one of us that take them. And then the individuals that come in after that, it's okay. This is the impetus of ONPASSIVE. This is the beginning of ONPASSIVE. We have so far to go. We have decades and decades and decades to go in ONPASSIVE. You know, when Ash talked about the new people that are coming into ONPASSIVE and what they're doing, if you understand what that is, I mean, everything that we have right now within ONPASSIVE, it's just mind-blowing. It's so exciting, you can't believe it. And then you think about the other people coming in, you're going, oh, what are they going to do? I'm going to be here. I get to participate in that. I get to be one of the first individuals to go to my neighbor and say, hey, this is what we got. This is what I got in my house now, or this, or whatever it is. And they're going to go, what? How's it work? I mean, it's going to be a really, really fun time for each and every one of us to share what ONPASSIVE is sharing with the world. So right now, it's a gut check. Mr. Mufareh has done everything. Kick back, enjoy the ride. Things are going to be changing in days and weeks, in my opinion. As Ash talked last week, talked about OConnect, what's happening next week. If you connect the dots, there are a lot of things happening next week, and the week after, and the month after, and the year after. So we're in a good place. Enjoy it, and you are absolutely right, Marty. We're in a place where I wouldn't want to be anyplace else. Go ahead, Marty.
Fantastic, Mike. Great job, as always. I think there's smoke coming from the computer, but we'll manage. Anyway, I don't know if Red's coming on 11 o'clock or not. I'm really not sure. Go check it. He usually posts back there. Chris Johnson won't be here probably tomorrow either. His daughter flew down there to see him, which is pretty cool, and they're doing things today and tomorrow, and I'm glad he is. He's healing up really fast, and he'll be back annoying me probably Monday. And that's what he does. Anyway, thank you everybody for being here.
Hey, Marty, let me say one thing about traffic. You brought up traffic earlier, and
okay, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, no and traffic is one of those things that is. It's just intriguing to me, and I'm always looking for additional traffic sources. And that might sound a little strange, but as Marty said, you can't have enough traffic, period. And because of the viral effect and what ONPASSIVE is going to be doing, I believe he's right. I don't think we're going to have to pay for traffic probably within 6 months. Everybody will be coming into ONPASSIVE. But I think it's really important for everybody to understand that the traffic for one product gets multiplied each time ONPASSIVE brings out another product. And if you're bringing in traffic and one product goes viral and you're bringing in 50 million or 100 million or 200 million people, and you bring out another product, all of a sudden the traffic, it's not 200 million, it's 400 million, and then 800 million, and then 1.2 billion. So the traffic that ONPASSIVE is generate, again, this goes to the multiplying effect of ONPASSIVE and what Mr. Mufareh is doing. It's not just what you see up front. There's so much behind everything that Mr. Mufareh is doing. And as we think about one product, one group of traffic, it's so much more than that. It continues to compound over each product that Mr. Mufareh brings out, because the products of ONPASSIVE, number one, he never picks a niche that there's not a need for. He always produces the product better than what's out there at a lower price point. So each product he brings out, that the traffic increases exponentially, and it will double every time as it continues to grow with that first product. And that is the genius behind Mr. Mufareh. That is the genius behind him driving traffic. And it really is how ONPASSIVE is going to go viral. And the phone analogy that Marty uses, it really is apropos. I mean, when OConnect gets out there, it goes viral. People are absolutely going to love it. I can tell you that flat out. They're going to love it. And they're going to flock into ONPASSIVE with 1 million, 5 million, 10 million, 50 million, 100 million, whatever the number is. And that next product, boom, it's going to go. It's going to go from wherever it was with OConnect, it's going to double and double and double and double. So when you start to think about that and keep that in your mind, and then understand the type of revenue that's going to be coming into ONPASSIVE, are you in the right place? That's rhetorical. You are. We're in the right place. Things are going to be happening very, very quickly. So just get ready. That's it, Marty. Go ahead.
You keep making me think of something else. But one thing I want to just wrap it up. Remember this, and this is pretty powerful. I said it the other day, but I was thinking about when I was thinking about Ash. His main dream is to make it so we live ours. That's pretty powerful. His drive is so that we can live and do things in the world. You know, when he goes out and helps people or feeds people on the street or brings them food and water, and he said to himself, if I could do this, how much can 1 million people do? And man, set us free. The Kraken's about to be released. Anyway, I'll see you all. Mike, thanks for coming.
My pleasure, Marty.
And maybe you can come on tomorrow if you want, because Chris won't be here. Okay.
Yeah, schedule it. I'll be here.
We'll both be back tomorrow. And thank you, everybody. A lot of webinars going on. You know that tonight. Casey Zevenbergen, I believe your birthday is tomorrow, but it's almost tomorrow. But I'll see you later. Anyway, so we can yell out, you know what Shorty wants to yell. Anyway, I'll see you all. Have a blessed day. And thank you for being here. About 500 people showed up. Not bad for a couple old fogies. Anyway, see you all.